back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. Guys, it is time for our monthly sit down with Shan, and to tell you, the struggle is real not having the fan on right about now. I'm trying to film this as early as possible in the morning, just before it starts to get a little bit heated, because I don't want the Hollywood lights on, and I don't really want the fan on in the background because the fan is going to create background noise. So I'm in a nice oversized nightshirt. I have, of course, one of my many sippy cups filled with H2O and juice to get me through the day, and we have our trusty iPad, which I've actually changed the cover on now, guys. Did I have this changed when we done Scandals with Shan? I think we did, but I obviously didn't pay much attention to it. So this month's sit down with Shan, we've actually had quite a big reaction to this. It is dealing with everything like financial, dealing with our finances, debts, etc., loans, cars, anything like that. Please, please, please do not take anything that we talk about in this video as gospel. If you are wanting to seek help or anything, there are plenty of organisations out there. I will actually leave a few little links down below for companies and organisations of which can help if, say, you're struggling with. Oh, don't think I'm expecting any post. I know I'm expecting Amazon, but oh well. We will see. I'll leave it down below. People who can like help with maybe debt or debt consolidation, cards, everything like that. So yes, I have got my drink at hand. I've got the iPad to hand. Let's get comfy for a sit down with Shan, eh? Right. So if you have never seen these series before, we get comfy. Normally I am up and down, we're changing positions on the bed and everything like that. I think I'm just going to stay in one position today. I think I'm going to stay quite cozy yet cool. I don't want to be faffing around, because the more I move, the more I'm going to get overheated, and unless I've got a nice pool to jump into, it's not really the vibe, is it? Right. So as I say, if you're wondering how to get involved in videos like this, anything like the sit downs with Shan, confessions with Shan, scandals with Shan, or the monthly Q&A mukbangs with Mama G, I will always put them on my Instagrams. They're always down below, a lifestyle and a food Instagram. I will put a story out to be like, guys, this is the topic, or this is the video we're doing. Send in tips, tricks, anything at all you want us to discuss. I also have a personal email for the YouTube channel, AllThingsShannonLeighxx@gmail.com. That is not just a email of which I will send a generic message out to you all. I won't put everyone's details on show. I'll blind copy everyone in, and I say, right, this is what we're doing. If you don't have Instagram or that and want to get involved, send them back by XYZ and the video will be live then. Also, that mailbox is if you just want to chit chat. The amount of people I get just like sending me stuff being like, Shan, I've seen this and thought of you, and it's like links to all these like gonk stuff, mainly a lot of gonk stuff. So yeah, it's just a little mailbox if you want to have a chit chat. If you want to say something but you don't want it public on the comments, have a little look over there. Okay, so I need a drink already. Right, so as I say, I said this, guys, this month is all about debts and finances, tips, tricks, staying out, saving tips, anything at all. And we had a good response. So let's have a look. I spend more when I'm feeling low, and I'm always low. That I can understand 100%, because my coping mechanism is spending. Mum knows if something's not right if I start hammering my credit card. She'll be like, I have a rough figure of what I spend every month on my card, and that will be for like meals out, lunches, bits and bobs for YouTube. But if it kind of goes a bit whoo, and it goes a bit whoo for quite a few months, Mum's like, right, something's up. When I had my first breakup, oh my god, I was like 21, new credit card, maxed out, loved my life. Looking back now, stupid, bad decisions. And then when I last got single, about a year and a half ago, I just threw myself into the gym. That is, I would probably say, is it a more healthier option? Maybe not. There's healthy options and not so healthy options. Maybe the gym, it stopped me from spending, but then I kind of like went overkill on my body. Spending, it ruined my bank balance. I don't know how to deal with things certain ways. So yeah, I do get it. When I'm sad or I'm low or I'm feeling a little bit like meh, I go on and I think, I know what's going to cheer me up. Where's that bag? Or where's them pair of shoes? Or where's that necklace or anything that I've had my eye on? Where's that baby Yoda cushion that I've always had my eye on and I need? I didn't need you. Actually, yes, I did need you. I'm sorry. I need everything to do with you and your family. But I am like that. It's hard, isn't it? It is hard because you know it's not good, because you know you get that buzz from buying something and you feel great, and when it arrives it's all good, and then depending on the severity of the cost, it brings you back down to earth. I remember when I would have like my little blips, I would go out on a shopping day and I would spend 4 figures and not even blink an eye. That's bad. It's not healthy, and it's not something. I haven't had a blip like that for ages. Don't get me wrong, I still have my days where, let's move that out of the way a bit. I do have my days still where I think, oh, sod it, I want to buy that. Or you know what, I've had a crappy week, I'm going to buy it. Like this month, I've done an excessive amount of overtime this month because I've been covering someone who's been off. And I should get a good fair whack. And I've said out of that, I am going to treat myself to something. Nothing extortionate. I'm going to have a look through like my little wish list or my Amazon wish list. And I might see, right, you know what, I really wanted those few cookbooks. I mean, I don't need cookbooks. I've got a gazillion for my birthday. But I'll see something that I need or that I've been wanting. And that will be my little reward, because I have topped. Like, I've probably done 25-30 hours more overtime this month than I have done. And that's like 5:30 starts. So, yeah, to say I think that's why I've been a little bit, the past few weeks, is because I just haven't had any time. And then the hay fever as well. Oh, God. It's been a right nightmare. But I do get you, my lovelies. I do get you. This is a very good one. And this is what my nana always used to say to me. Don't buy what you don't need. I actually have a thing somewhere. And it's, you know them little wallet cards you get from Card Factory? And it's like the 7 rules of a shopaholic. Yeah, I've had that since I was about 18. My nan got it for my 18th. And it was like, do I want it? Do I need it? Do I, like, am I reliant on it or anything like that? And at the end, it's just like, you're going to buy it anyway. I would love to just buy what I need. But the thing is, I will try and find a justification to need what I want. So say, for example, like my baby Yoda cushion. I wanted this, okay? I saw this little guy. And I wanted him. Did I need him? No, because I've got a gazillion other things on my bed. But my reason for justifying this was he looks like he's going to be the perfect height for me to squidge in of a night time. So, you know, like I have my heart pillow behind me. I like the crease of that in my neck. And it's like the perfect night's sleep. Well, I thought he's just going to be so cuddly and he's got the fur trim. I'll go sleep straight away. He don't normally live up the top end of the bed. He normally lives at the bottom because I actually don't want to flatten him. So I have tried to justify my need for him. Well, I justified my want for him with the need. You're not going to sit back now, are you, mate? Can we chill there? Thank you. So, yeah, I am quite bad. I try and find like a justification for everything. And, yeah, that's not healthy. So there is another question. I'm going to save this till last because I think it'll be a good one to round up on. I've had quite a few that was sent in via DMs. This is a good one. Build a budget for yourself. Don't overspend. Ask yourself if you truly need it or want it. See, this is a thing as well. I've had budget planners. I've gone through the whole stages of, right, wage comes in on a spreadsheet, XYZ at. But I don't know. I can't stick to it. I think for me, I would end up resenting it. Like, I think I work hard for my money, and then if I've got that and I've say got like a little bit spare and I think, no, you need to save that, I think I'd get annoyed at myself because I'd think money comes and goes. Like your time or bits and bobs doesn't, and I think I'd get really annoyed at myself. I think I really would. That's why when I do things now, I think, you know what? We only have one life, and sod it. If when I go to a concert on my own and I want to pay in the hotel nearby and I want the one that's connected so I haven't got to walk the streets of London on my own as a young lady, I'm going to pay it. Yes, it's a ridiculous amount, but you pay because it's London, unfortunately. And for me, the safety of it and like the night away, it's worth it. I don't go to a concert every week. once a year. I mean, that was my, what was my first concert? November last year, and then I went April. Don't know if I got any more on the cards. I don't know. But I think you have to still treat and reward yourself. And if you can budget and then include treats and rewards within that, amazing. But I just can't. I can't. Have a credit card, but have the limit set at something that you can pay off in one go if you needed. Oh, that's good. That is a good tip. See, now when I was 18, I got my first card. And I went through and everything like that. And then I got a few more. And my limits just kept getting more and more. Because, in essence, I was paying them off. I got bigger limits. And I think I was about 21. And I got my first 5-figure limit credit card. And I was like, whoo! Whacked mine and my ex at the time, our holiday to Cancun on it. Paid it off, everything like that. But it does give you that sense of, especially when you get the 0% for a certain period. You can sometimes get it from like 9 up to 24 months. And you think, that's fine. I've got like 2 years to pay that. Them 2 years fly by. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, I've got to pay that. So that I think is actually really good that they could give you, say, 100 grand. I mean, I know they wouldn't, not to a random normal Joe Blogs. But like, even if you had, say, like 5 grand, you think, no, actually, I want to lower that to 1 because I don't want to get it to the point where I can't repay it. That is a very good idea. Pay yourself before your bills. Put into your savings first. Oh, I've never heard of that expression. Pay yourself before your bills. I like that. So you're almost paying yourself, like rewarding yourself for the month that you've had, or weekly, however often you're paid. I must say, I have got better at this because I've just had, my loan has recently finished. I've cleared off my loan. Woohoo! And that amount that I would pay on my loan, I actually do just transfer straight into my savings when I get paid. Because I think I've been so long without that amount. If I had it, I am more likely to spend it. I'm not going to lie. So I have a direct debit set up every month for that set amount to go straight into my savings. So I'm like, oh, but I like that. I like that terminology, paying yourself first. I like that. Yes, yes, yes. Right. Let's have a look. Oh, I think this is one of 3. Yes. Work out what you need for bills. Then what's left over, split into 50-50 debt versus savings. I like to work out how much free money I have and work out how many months it will take me to pay off. And if I can pay any more, I try to. That is very good. That is actually very good when it comes to terms of like credit cards and that. So say you get a pot. I don't know, say your pot's £2,000 for example, right? And then you have your bills 1,000 straight out. So you have 1,000 left. You've got 50-50, 500 to save and 500 to go towards your debts. And then by looking at that, you think, well, if I'd done that for XYZ months, that would bring that down and then that would shorten the term I'd have to pay. I like that. I like that. See, I have 1 card left. And for me, I pay the minimum payment and then I just deal with it at the end. So I think my one ends, I think it's November this year. I need to double check. But then when that does come to the end of it, I won't pay the interest on it. I will just whack that off and be done with. But there's a question about my experiences with debt and that, which I'll save till the end because I like to think I have a little bit of an understanding on it because I dove into it head first, let's say. Another one, know your incomings and outgoings and stick to the budget. I'd love to follow my own advice. I'm there with you. I am there with you. Oh my God. It's so easy, ain't it? Because I'm like, right, so I've got rent, bills, da-da-da. That comes out. That's coming in. Yeah, I'd easily be able to save that, man. And then I'm just like, oh. Do you remember that splurge you had last week? Yeah. Do you remember them like 10 sets of knickers you got from Primark that you didn't need? Yeah. It's hard, ain't it? It's so hard. I know it's hard, mate. You're putting your head down in shame to us, aren't you? It is hard. Where can I prop you? Because I should never have moved you in the first place. Stay. You're not going to stay, are you? Please. Thank you. it is hard because, like, I get my wages and mum's like, right, well, you can bang that amount away. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, why? And I'm like, oh, well, my credit card might be a bit high. But my credit card has been a bit high lately. However, it has been for experiences. Like when me and Dada went to the Cotswolds, we had the birthday joint meals. Like, it's been for experiences. Mum doesn't mind me having outbursts, for example, let's say, if they are for travels or trips or anything like that. She'll never say to me, no, you can't spend that much on a hotel. If I went to her mum and said, Mum, I've spent £1,000 for a weekend in a hotel up London, she'd be like, well, I hope you get a breakfast with that. She'll never moan at me for experiences or travels or venturing out. If I said to her I've spent £1,000 on a perfume, she'd be like, did you really need to? She was kind of my reasoning for why I didn't go for the Tom Ford bit of peach for my birthday, because she said, can you justify that amount of money for one perfume? And I was like, I could, but then I couldn't. So she said, why don't, you've already smelt it, when we next go back into London, you can go get another tester if you like it, okay? And then maybe why don't you keep that as something that you might get when you're 29, or even hold out till you're 30. And she said a better thing. She said, whenever you move out, you could get the little candle as like a moving in present to yourself. And then maybe your first birthday in the house, you could have the perfume. And I was like, you know what? I like your logic thinking, Mum. I like your logical thinking. But I do feel I have got better as I've got older. I definitely think like for the past, I'm going to say 2-3 years, I have actually really knuckled down. Like, I'm happy with the savings I've got in the bank. Like, don't get me wrong. They could be a hell of a lot more, but I've lived my life as well. I don't want to have all the money in the bank and then think, I wish I'd have done that, or I wish I'd have bought that, or I wish I'd have gone there. I think I have a good balance with life and living. Well, I say a good balance. I'm pretty much working all the time. But whenever I do go out, I actually feel like I have a life. Like, I'm doing something, whether that be travelling, going out for the day to London, just going on a road trip somewhere. I like to feel I have a purpose, and I like to feel I'm achieving what I can. Another one of my lovelies says, never have an overdraft, loan or credit card. I just won't buy something unless I can. That, I think, is probably one of the smartest, most sensiblest ways to look at it. I can't. I wish I could, but there's all these temptations like Klarna and ClearPay and everything like that, where you think, you know what, I can't whack it all off right now, but spread that over 3 months or 4 weeks, whatever, and I could get it. And I think that stuff like that is potentially a catalyst and potentially a trigger for the spending, and why spending sometimes can get so out of control. But I like that. I like that. See, I always thought though, by not having them, does that affect your credit score? Because say, for example, I was really annoyed. I've actually emailed ClearScore. So I finalised my loan and everything. And I went onto my ClearScore last week. And it's dropped by like 70 points. And I was like, hold on a minute. Like, what? So I emailed them. And they said, oh, it's because your loan's finished. Sometimes that can affect your credit score. And I was like, but I've never missed a payment. I've signed into that length of contract. I've completed it now. Surely you'd think it would go up. But it hasn't. Mine's gone down. So I don't know. How does that work? Does it affect your credit score if you don't have credit? Oh, if you're watching this, let me know. Send me a DM or something, because that I'm actually interested by. Because see, I have a few credit cards which I never use, but I leave them open because it counts towards like my credit utilization. But then if it doesn't affect having them there, I might as well just close them and then not have such high utilization. Not high utilization, but like surplus funds that I'm not using there. I will have a look into that. I love this one. This is me. Not a tip or trick, but I have a spending problem and need the advice too. Love ya. I am with you there. I do. I said to Mum, I could have any addiction in this world and mine is shopping. Which sometimes when Mum used to moan at me for my outbursts, I'd be like, what would you rather? Would you rather me be spending it on drink or drugs or smoking or anything else? Shopping is kind of I say it's the safest. It can actually probably get you into some of the worst trouble if it's not managed or looked after. But I was like, I'm not hurting anyone apart from myself and my bank balance. It is self-inflicted. And yeah, I'm hoping we can all help each other all together on this little trip, because yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It is hard. I'll tell you what, actually, because the other ones are long DMs and emails. I'm going to answer the one that I was going to put off till last, but it says, what has been your experience with debt? So, my experience with debt. Grand old age of 18, I took out my first credit card. I think I was 19, I got another credit card. Come to 20, I think I got another one. I got a credit card pretty much every year. And sometimes that would be by, if I didn't have the funds to pay off the previous one, I would do like balance transfers. And you would get like a, say for example, you'd have a fee which might be 3% of whatever you was transferring, but then you had another 24 months or however long the period was, interest free to pay it. So I'm like, okay. When I was 21, I got a credit card and it was with Barclays, and they gave me a 5-figure limit. I'm like, okay. So as I say, I put Cancun on there for me and my ex at the time. Had the biggest like shopping sprees for that holiday, because I'm thinking, I'm going Mexico, I'm going Cancun. It was hard rock. It was my 21st. I wanted to go and do it properly. And I did. It cost me an arm and a fortune, I'm not going to lie. So at 21 years old, I feel like I was in retail. I feel I was in retail then, and that was when commission was good. Back in the day, commission used to be good in retail. And the holiday with the trips to Cancun, it was just over £5,000. And I remember I saved about £2,500 for my spending money. So like £7.5 grand out on a holiday at 21 was a lot. But I saved and I worked my tush off to get that, all the commission, everything like that. And then think that's twice, so that was on the credit card. And then I decided, you know what, I don't want the cards. I thought, consolidate everything and get a loan. And I had a loan from 21 to 24. I got it over a 3-year term. The interest rate I got was, I think it was like 8 or 9%. It was a lot of interest I had to pay. But I thought, you know what? At least with that, it's one a man at. All of them are done and dusted. I've just got that one a man. And I kind of knew where I was with that. Fine. I didn't tend to go for any more cards when I had the loan, because I thought I don't want to get myself into a cycle of the loan being paid out and then all minimum payments for other cards if I was to open some more. I've always been on mum's credit card as a joint card holder, but that I know there's no interest free, nothing. We pay that balance off every month to the penny. My loan finished, and then I think I got to about, I'm going to say 20, well hold on, what am I now, 28, and I've just cleared it. So I was about 24 and a half, 25. And I wanted another big splurge again, I'm not going to lie. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting another loan. Didn't even go down the path of the cards. I was like, I need a loan. So I got a loan out again. That was on another 3-year period. I've literally paid that off. I think it was like 2 or 3 months. No, was it last month or the month before? Because it's come on my credit score. But when I was about 26, I got another card. That card was going to be for travel purposes only. That was going to be a card where I knew I had to pay it off at the end of every month. We'll see. It didn't end up like that. I'd done a few transfers and spent on it. And that is my only card actually that I have left now. And as I say, that the 0% on that finishes November this year, I believe. So for what I have left on that, I will clear off. I pay the minimum payment just so obviously you don't get into arrears or anything. But that, at the end of it, I will just do the bulk payment. Sorry, guys. You know, my eyes are just starting to itch with hay fever at the minute. Aye. So I will have that sorted. By come November, that will be done and dusted. And I should be loan-free and card-free. And that will be the first time I've been debt free for a decade. 18 I started, and by the age of 21, because I'm thinking when I took my loan, so by 21, this wasn't the amount that, say, I had still going, but I'd accumulated. Up until the age of 21, I'd accumulated about £16,000 worth of debt. When I got to 25, when I took that second loan, I probably had about £30,000 worth of debt. Yeah. When I say I think I've learnt my lesson through it, I absolutely think I've learnt my lesson through it. And I think by the end of 28, I just need to pay that card off and I'm done. In 10 years, amounting over £30,000 worth of debt at such a young age, I look at that now and I think, you idiot. You could have had your deposit for your house. But then again, I think I've travelled to some amazing places through the money that I had, whether it be through the cards or the loan. I've done some amazing things. I've bought myself some nice things. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have bought myself as much, but I think I'm glad I've got that out of my system, because now I actually do need to start thinking like an adult. I've got it out of my system. So yeah, I do think if anyone ever wants to chat or anything at all, like, I am by no means no financial advisor or anything like that, but I do feel like, I have a little bit of understanding and knowledge when it comes to it, like, i.e. regarding transferring credit cards so that you get a longer 0% period but you just pay the balance fee, or do you work it all out and just pull it into a loan and then it's one payment? If anyone ever wants any advice or tips or just about my personal experiences, please drop me an email, guys, because as I say, looking back now, I'm like, Shan. But then do I regret it? I'm going to say 50-50. I do regret some things to a degree, because I think if I didn't, then I wouldn't have experienced the things I did. Whereas I could have been moving out. I could have been moved out by now, but hey ho, we all have lessons in life, eh? And that has been mine. But now I'm on the straight and narrow, and hopefully at the end of the year I will be debt free. That was one of my goals. If you remember my 2023 goals, I've sorted my loan out. Done, dusted, sayonara, adios. Now it's just my last card. But yeah, I'm going to sit and have a refill. I'm going to try and maybe move the camera because I've got a little bit of a headache coming along. So I want to get comfy because I feel like I haven't had my hair in a high bun in ages. And you know when it just pulls and I'm like, ow. So yes, let's get in for part 2. I told you we'd have a little changeover, and we've got the octopus. We've got the octopus in with the shot now with us, guys. Right, so these ones are ones, sorry if you shake a little, you are balancing on the bed on the tripod. Okay. These are ones that were sent in to me via DMs or emails, because Instagram just does not give you the space to write a decent message, does it? So one of my lovelies says, hi Shan, I am a 36-year-old mum of 2 little ones, aged 5 and 3. I am in debt to my eyeballs. After I had my first child, I went back to work part-time as the nursery costs were insane and I was working to pay the nursery. I think childcare costs is shocking in this country, and that is definitely something that the government need to look at, because you're penalising people to try and get back into work after they've had a child, and I don't think that is fair at all. You're choosing, you want to have a life where you get back into the work, and then when you see all the outgoings and the almost the costs and victimisation against you, you just think sometimes, what is the point? I got pregnant again in my first year back at work and was blessed with another beautiful baby. I still work 3 days and only pay nursery fees for 1 now as my eldest is in school. Me and my husband both have what we considered good paying jobs, teachers. Good. But we honestly don't earn enough money. I have 2 credit cards which are nearly maxed out, and also my student loan which I'm still paying off from 16 years ago at uni. Wow. This is the thing as well, like, I understand with student loans they have to be paid back, but there needs to be give and take with everything in this world and economy rising, except wages, may I add. Oh, our phone's having a little session. Except the wages, but it's still like take. There needs to be leeway. There needs to be something where they can just take the gas off the pedal for the moment and be like, people are trying that. In work, we can maybe just cut back a bit. I think it aggravates me the amount of millions and millions of pounds spent in this country on things that I personally, and it's only my personal opinion, I personally feel are not vindicated enough to be spent within this country. And on terms of like this, where people are trying to go into work and trying to better themselves, and you're just constantly fighting a losing battle. I do feel this is a country where you are penalised for working, and it should not be like that. There is no leeway. Like, when the government do these things, it's never from the rich. It's always from the working class bracket, and it's just take. It aggravates the life out of me. I pay my debts each month, but when there is 2 weeks left of the month, I have to use my credit cards to live. Food, petrol, etc. So I'm back to square one and actually never end up making a dent in my debt because I'm so skim. I don't drink or smoke, and we don't have holidays abroad, as we can only have them during the school times when the prices are insanely high. This, I know I don't have kids, but this boils my blood. Again, I think it is very immorally wrong. It's morally wrong. It's immoral and it's morally wrong that people are penalised to take their children out on the times that the government allow you, and then they whack the prices up. I remember when I was little, there was none of this. You couldn't take kids out in term time. It was, you would send a letter to your headmaster, they would approve it. If they didn't approve it, guess what? You were still going. There was nothing like fines or anything like that back in my day. And you know what really aggravates me is they don't allow you to say take your children out of term time when you need like to save money or when it's a better financial position. But they don't, they don't care. But you know, like when you have all the strike days, that obviously impacts children's education. So I think, hold on a minute. Sometimes them strike days, parents can't get childcare. Parents have to then lose a day of work themselves. What is the difference with taking your child out for, say, that time to the difference of when you're adding up all of the strike days? There needs to be a level. Like, so if they're having 5 strike days a year, so why can you not take your child out for 5 days of the year within that term time, just like it would be term time when the strikes were happening? And the prices, it's not a little increase. I mean, by no means, I don't have kids, but I know from friends who have little ones, the term price increase is ridiculous. Even though this message seems like I'm constantly moaning, please rest assured that I'm so happy with my family at the moment, but I feel like the debt will never just go away. Any tips would be greatly received. Love your video, Shannon. Take care, gorgeous. Mwah. Take care too. I feel like this is the thing. You should not have to work. No, you shouldn't have to live to work. You should work to live. And as you say, you don't drink, don't smoke, you don't have the holidays abroad because of the prices. I feel very saddened by that, because I feel you work all year round. You want to have them little luxuries in life, or not even luxuries. You just want to have the time away with your family, and you are penalised and victimised against it. And I don't like that. I think it's wrong, and the government really needs to sort itself out, because I think potentially that is one of the reasons why I'm not maternal and I'm not thinking of having children, because I think if I want to take my child out of school, I'm taking my child out of school. If you're going to then charge me, then I should charge you if when you have a strike day and I can't get time off and I have to lose a day's pay, which I know several of the people where I work, they have had to do that when there's been teacher strikes, or when you have like the rail strikes, anything like that, and they can't get their child in or get to work. I think there needs to be people to be held accountable. It's almost like you have to be self-employed to bill the government for your loss of earnings. I think it just baffles me. All these protests and everything, I'm just like, if you get a result, great, but if you don't get a result, it's just the havoc and the disruption. And I think when they say, oh, we're taking your children out of school is disruption, do you not think that the strikes are disrupting? Do you not think that when we was all shut down for the Big C, that impacted children's education so much? So I heard a thing when the schools reopened, there weren't going to be any 6 weeks holidays for the next 2 years. And then the kids are on like holidays and half terms, and then you have inset days and everything like that. And I think, God, I never had this much time off when I was little. Never in a million years did I have this much time off. But it's all changed, isn't it? It's all changed. But my inbox is always open, my lovely. Always open. And it is so frustrating that you have to live off of cards and credit just to survive when you go and do your working week. That is something that it doesn't sit right with me. You do your working week and you're still struggling to make ends meet. The world we live in, well, the country we live in, ain't for the workers at the moment, I don't think. And it needs to stop being for the rich as well. Aye. Right. Another one. Hi, gorgeous. When we were younger, we went with a type of loan shark called Provident. And in big captions, but I do not advise this. It helped us out back then, although our credit rating was pants. We managed to marginally get our credit rating higher, so got credit cards to get it up further. That didn't work for us. We gradually got out of debt with the help of family, but then my hubby got made redundant because of a major operation on his leg. It was through amputation. And back in debt. It's been 14 years and we are still getting ourselves out of debt. We pay them off bit by bit and on top of the bills we have now. But the only way we found possible is to pay each company a small amount on top of our main bills, as we are both self-employed now. So I think I have heard of Provident. I feel like it was the modern like payday loan back in the day. And the interest rates are shocking. Whenever I see a payday loan advert or anything, I'm like, please no. Because you look at them interest rates and they are extortionate. The fact that you're sensible enough to still pay bit by bit off the other companies, hats off to you and your partner, because some people would just think, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to let him man up and I'll go bankrupt. That I don't think is a good mindset, because, not going to lie, when I was about 21, I thought, I wonder how you do that. But you have to have a certain amount of debt, which, don't get me wrong, if I was anywhere near that mark, I would have maybe rounded it up, but I was nowhere near it at that time. And with that, you then, what was I saying? Oh my God, I've just had a total mind blank. Oh, going bankrupt. But then I think it affects and stays on your credit rating, I think, for 5 or 6 years. Which, thinking now, I probably could have done that and then it would have been cleared off by now. But then I've got to start my credit rating from scratch. So, it's good that you still pay the companies bit by bit, because it's better than not paying anything at all. As long as you have a roof over your head and food on the table, you will be okay. And companies are fine as long as you pay a little something. I think that's another thing. So like the companies, they would rather have something than nothing. At the end of the day, they want their money back. And if by saying to you, I need X amount a month, and you say, I can't do that, and you just say, I can't do it and I'm not doing it, then that's where you can get like IVAs and CCJs and everything like that. It can start turning nasty and going against you. Like, luckily, I've never had any negative stamp on my credit history. I've always made my payments. I've never fallen behind, never gone into a risk. So I've been lucky like that. But if you was to turn around and say, look, I can't do that, but I can do that, they're more likely to be a bit more lenient, because you're showing that actually there is something I can provide. It's maybe not what you want, but it's what I can. And you have to take baby steps from there. So I think that is very, very good. Like, Mum only has one credit card, the joint one with me. And she uses her bank card. See, I'm terrible because I will never use my bank card. My bank card is literally for putting my wages in and my direct debits out and transferring to my savings. I will never ever use my bank card going out. If I'm going on the tube, it's never my bank card. I put it on the credit card. I don't know why. I just don't like carrying my bank card around. I'd rather it be safe here at home. So Mum's actually been quite good. Dada has had a bit of debt in the past. I think that might be where I kind of got the mentality from when I was younger. Because I'd see, like, we'd go out and I'd see you'd pay on a card and I'd be like, we got that for free. And then when the bill would come in at the end of the month, Dad would be like, see that? Thought you get it for free. No, you don't. And Dada's had like ups and downs, like me with debt. But he seems to be on like the straight and narrow. I think he has one small loan left. Oh, and a phone bill he's paying off, because this is the thing. Do not drink and fall asleep if you was on a... back in the day, you used to have, you know, like 4G. You wouldn't never have kind of like an allowance. And I remember he fell asleep one night after a skinful, and he was streaming something. And then the bill coming from the network provider, and whoo! Yeah, that was a lot. So I think he just has like a tiny little bit of that left and one loan. And I have my card. So pretty much now we're a good family on track with our finances. Don't get me wrong. We still have blips. And like Mum, for example, she might be like, oh, Shan, I'm short this month. Can you sub me? I'm like, yeah, no worries. Dada, can you sub me? Whatever. I'm very dubious, and I'm very reluctant when it comes to money to hand out. But I have to trust you enough if I'm lending you money that I know I would get it back, because I have been done over before in the past, and that's why I would never ever put myself in that position again. And I think I have to really trust and respect you and like know that I will get it back. It doesn't mean if I give it to you tomorrow, I want it back the next day in full. Nothing like that. It could be like a payment a month or whatever, but I have to have that level of trust there to know that I'll get it back. Whereas Mum, her past, if she had money and people needed help, she would left, right, centre, and then she'd leave herself short. And sometimes you wouldn't always get that money back. So I'm like, no, I am not like that. I have to really trust you and know that I'm going to get it back. I can't help it. I'm just very, I like to think I'm sensible with my money, and I think I work bloody hard for my money, and I need to know that you're going to get it back. I mean, I think it's funny, if Dada asked me to lend him some money, I'll always get like a £5 interest or something back. That's like my little saving scheme, eh? And then the last one covers actually, oh, hang on, no. Did we have, I feel like there was another one before I end on that. Let me just have a quick look, my lovelies. Definitely feel like there was another one from one of my regulars, because I remember I saw it and I was like, yes. There it was. I didn't screenshot it. So one of my lovelies says, lately I've had money troubles with Klarna and car problems and trying to balance a YouTube channel, but slowly and surely coming out of the woods. I've learned to try and not feel so guilty about it because people are in worse situations. So slowly but surely keeping a positive attitude about it while working through it and making a budget towards my channel. I wish everyone to win the lottery. I'm with you there, my lovely. I'm with you there. This is the thing. So Klarna. We all know your girl loves a bit of Klarna. There's another thing called lay-by, and there's ClearPay. ClearPay, I think, is a weekly payment for 4 weeks, and lay-by, I think, is very similar. Klarna, you can either pay in 30 days or you pay in 3 installments over 3 months. Klarna, for me, I love to use if I'm doing big purchases. So if I've got something, for example, Ann Summers, Swarovski, they do Klarna over 3. They're going to be very large value items or large hauls, so I like to use that for that. But Klarna can get very addictive and you can get yourself in trouble. My credit card bills are pretty much Klarna. So I'll have something and then for 3 months you're paying it off. Now, at the moment, I don't have a lot left on my Klarna. I think my Klarna, because now they actually still class Klarna as debt, they had a big transition, and Klarna never used to get taken into consideration with credit history, but now it does. So I don't tend to put half as much on Klarna. I am now, if I can't afford it there and then, I just don't have it. Or I might get it on a 30 days, but I have to know that I've got the money coming in to cover it. Klarna, it is addictive because you see it and you think, yeah. And you know what? I've got everything pre-saved on my iPad, my phone, my laptop. It's a couple of clicks of the button and it is done. Something that I would use Klarna 3 for, that I don't feel guilty for, is Virgin Experience Days. Because sometimes when they have their good sales on, I mean, I've just got another 3 little things for me and some friends. They've had really good offers on, and I thought, oh, you know what? I'll put it on the Klarna in 3, but I know I'll have the money there each month to do it. With Klarna, if you miss a payment, you can't. You get either the 30 days, and you can extend, I think it's up to 10 days with no effect. If you extend it further, or you miss the payment date, it will then affect your credit rating. And also with the Klarna payment in 3, if you miss that, it's going to affect your credit rating. Now don't get me wrong, I will still use Klarna, and I think Klarna is a good thing there for everyday purchases. But I don't, not everyday purchases, like the larger purchases, I don't think it's good for everyday purchases. Because you can get carried away, and before you know it, you look on your Klarna app and you're scrolling at how much you owe. And that can be very worrying, because sometimes, as I say, you don't know what you have coming in and out. And my lovely there also has a YouTube channel. And like, it is hard, because you think you have to put out money for the content. Ow, cramp. You have to put money out there for the content. Now, I could do it where at the end of every month, I take, say, like my 20% tax off and I spend it. But I don't. So the way I do it is I will use my monthly earnings to fund anything from my channel. And then at the end of the tax year, like I've done this year, I have my amount, send it off to my accountant. He will tell me XYZ for the tax man. After that, I have the rest to spend. But it's not a case of now just spending on anything. I use that money for my travels. So it has helped with Jamaica. It's helped with log cabin, my hotels. Like, I like to look at that now as my little travel fund, like my little, it's a savings fund, almost like a little rebate to yourself. And that's just how I personally do it, because I don't know, I feel if I can manage by taking it out of my normal earnings, then at the end of March, April, for the tax year cut off, it's like a little reward to myself. But yeah, I wish we could all win the lottery, eh? That would be lovely. And then my last one. So it's not going to go into this much, but from the hubby's experience, who's been self-employed for 33 years, never lease a car. Always do HP, and make sure you set yourself a weekly amount to go in the personal account, no matter how much you earn, as some weeks are fantastic and others not so good. See, I think it varies between weekly pay and monthly pay. So a lot of people where I work are weekly pay. I, however, am monthly pay. I don't know how I would get on with weekly pay, because people say to me weekly pay is easier to manage. I don't know. I've never ever been paid weekly. I've always been paid monthly, or like monthly, like every last Friday or whatever it is of the month. And I think because at least that way it's all in, pretty much it all goes out, and then I'm left with the balance. Whereas weekly, do I think I would save more? I don't know. But I think it all depends how you are paid. Stopped using Klarna, as I did get a bit carried away, what with being able to pay over 3 months. If it's expensive, I just use PayPal, who do the same thing, and it's safer. I have seen PayPal pay over 3. So is that the same then? Oh, I'll have to have a look at that. This isn't something that I'm like advocating and now I'm going to switch all my Klarnas to PayPal, but that is actually good to know. I also start buying for birthdays and Christmas in January, i.e. the sales and deals. Plus you don't have that rushing around last minute shopping, and a big experience at all. Take care and love you loads. That is very smart. Picking up bits. Sometimes you'll see bits as and when, and say if they go in the sale, you think, might leave me a bit short that month. But if you can warrant what you're saving, and it's something that you know is a gift or an experience, anything like that, and you can get away with it for what you're saving, you have to be like, right, is it worth it? Is it worth it? I mean, I'm always on the hunt for a good sale, and I love a good sale, I'm not going to lie. If there is a bargain to be had, I like to think my name's on it. I will have to look into that PayPal though. I've never really looked into it. And also with like the safer term of it. That would be quite good to look over. So yes, guys. That is Sit Down with Shan. Done for June. So, my lovelies, oh god, need a little stretch after that. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. As I say, please don't take anything like this with like actual literal. I am in no way FCA approved. I'm just a girl sitting in my room reading all of our tips and tricks. As I say, I will leave a few like organisations or websites if you do want to look into any more about like maybe debt consolidation, cards, help, loans, anything like that. But thank you so much to everyone who has sent in, because otherwise it would just be me waffling about my personal experience, which I hope that you can maybe take something from it and also put it to good use for the future. But yes, I have got a banging headache, so I think this light's going to go off, the hair's going to come down, and we're just going to lay in a dark room with our thoughts for a while. But guys, if you did enjoy the video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below, and leave me a comment. What has been either your experience with debt, or are there any more tips or tricks that we haven't thought of over here that you could help some of us out with? But yes, take care, stay safe as always, and I shall see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Whatever that may be, I ain't got a clue. Bye guys.